Right now at 6 o'clock, a person shot late last night in Hampden. We'll tell you what police are now doing to find the person they believe is responsible.
A school superintendent is on leave this morning. We're going to share what led up to the local school board's decision to temporarily remove her.
And ahead at 6:30, what the Secretary of the State's office is saying about claims of misconduct. In the Bridgeport mayoral primary, we'll tell you what she's asking what state agency to do.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
6 o'clock, good morning, a beautiful, mostly sunny day ahead.
Yep.
So we've got some great news there. Good morning, thanks for being with us, America Arias.
And I'm Tim Lambers. Yeah, this is going to be the start of something good coming off a real soaker of a Monday. Curious to see just how much rain everybody got, man.
Yeah,
Scott?
1 to 2 inches, and
Wow.
the places that got the worst were the places that didn't need the most, and that would be northeastern Connecticut. Points like Killingly over to Putnam and Pomfret, seeing, again, too much. The good news is that's it for now. Forecast as you take a look at what you need to know before you go. Refreshing air taking over. Cruise control weather. We put the computers on cruise control and we just kick our feet up. Not a lot to worry about until the weekend. What is that near Florida? We'll talk about that coming up. Here's the last 12 hours on the radar review, and you'll see pretty impressive rains coming through, especially northern parts of the state last night. It's gone. It's up and away. 59 in Hartford, 62 in New Haven, our lucky 61 in Groton, New London. Temperatures on the way up to the low to mid 70s later on the day with clear skies and a little bit of a breeze, by the way, out of the north and west. Backyard forecast taking you to the lower 70s, mostly sunny skies. There's the wind out of the northwest, 10 to 20 miles an hour. Coming up, we'll have the bus stop forecast, also looking at the tropics and seeing what's down south. That's all coming up in a few minutes. Symphony has a look at traffic. Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Things are already ramping up on the roads on this Tuesday, so let's go ahead to get you up to speed with what's happening outside. First up, we are keeping an eye on a car fire. There's been a crash on I-91 northbound between exits 25 and 27 in Wethersfield, and right now the right lane is closed. We can see first responders are out there working to clear that up, and traffic is just slowly creeping by that crash scene, so expect some delays out there. Back here in the capital city, police activity has been reported on I-84 eastbound between exits 43 and 44. Right now the left lane is closed, so you might see a little bit of a backup there. Also, expect some delays, or a plan for an alternate route rather. The East Haddam Swing Bridge is closed due to some construction happening out there. That's going to continue until Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Otherwise, taking a quick look at the Hartford drive time, smooth sailing on 91 South this morning as we take another live look. This is in Hartford, not New Haven this morning. Folks getting up and at it. Let's take a look at the New Haven drive times. A little bit of a slowdown on 95 South heading to Bridgeport. That's going to take you 28 minutes. We'll have another update at 6:30.
Symphony, thanks so much. All right, right now, Hampden police are investigating a shooting that sent one person to the hospital.
Yeah, Fox 61's Brooke Griffin is live outside the Hampden Police Department with what we know here early this Tuesday morning. Brooke, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. We are still waiting on quite a few details, but we do know that Hampden Police has really started focusing their search for the suspect. They say that's what their goal is today, is finding the person who did this. Now, Hampden Police have, again, just not released a lot of details. We have a lot of questions that are unanswered to this point, but what we do know so far is that this all happened before 11 o'clock last night. That's when officers were called to the area of Goodrich and Butler Streets for reports of a person shot. The shooting investigation seemed to be focused on the street outside of a convenience store. When they arrived, they found one person with gunshot wounds. That person has been taken to the hospital to be treated. There's no word on their updated condition at this time or any information on who that victim is. When we last spoke to police, a suspect was not in custody, and they didn't mention if they had any leads. Detectives had the area around the shooting scene blocked off while they investigated, but that location near the Goodrich and Butler area has since been reopened. Now, again, I have already reached out to Hampden Police this morning to see if we can get some sort of information on this case. Of course, the second we do, I'll update the story. Live in Hampden, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Okay, Brooke, thank you for that update. Hopefully we'll get more information as the morning goes on. Well, this morning there are calls for action in Norwich to address what some people are calling a climate of fear and retaliation by public school leadership. Well, those calls have been answered.
The Board of Education voted last night to place Superintendent Kristen Stringfellow on leave while it investigates her performance and the conduct. Now, Fox 61's Angela Bavaro is joining us live in Norwich to break down what happened and what's next.
Erica, Tim, good morning. And Stringfellow's leave will continue for as long as the board deems necessary as this investigation continues into these allegations about her leadership. But the board also making clear last night that her leave, that it does not mean that they have reached any conclusion about whether or not she did engage in any improper conduct.
Rather, the board determined that it was appropriate and in the best interest of the district to place Dr. Stringfellow on administrative leave at this time during the investigation so that the investigation can proceed effectively and so that the district can move forward during the investigation.
And this vote coming after parents, students, staff, they have been rallying, calling on the Board of Education to take action. A climate survey by the Connecticut Education Association found that 96% of teachers fear retaliation from the district superintendent if they speak up. And that survey also found that more than half, 160 teachers, have left the district since June of 2022.
We just want to teach in a place where we can talk and work with our colleagues and ask for or share ideas and cooperate with others without being retaliated against.
And the board also voting last night to appoint Susan Lessard, who is the principal over at Stanton Elementary, as the acting superintendent. We are live in Norwich this morning. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And well, thanks so much. We'll check back. Well, meantime, at 6:05 this morning, one man accused of killing a man in Hartford is expected to appear before a judge. Chan Williams Bay is being held on a $5 million bond. He's facing a murder charge for the shooting death of Jordan Phipps on Wethersfield Avenue back on August 6th. Now, that shooting left another man injured. Police say Williams Bay was out on bond at the time, awaiting trial for a separate case. The Office of the Inspector General is investigating an incident in which an officer fired his gun in Orange. Now, this happened Friday night outside the Burlington Coat Factory on Boston Post Road. Police responded to a shoplifting call. When an officer approached the suspect, police say he ran to a nearby car. And as the officer tried to pull the suspect out of the car, the pair got into a struggle. Another person in the car tried to drive off, and that's when a second officer fired his gun one time and no one was hit. Police arrested the suspect a short time later. The Inspector General says neither officer had their body cameras on during the entire incident.
State lawmakers are going to meet at the Capitol today for a special legislative session. Governor Ned Lamont wants them to consider his nomination of Nora Danahy to the state Supreme Court. She would fill the seat that opened up after a justice left to serve on a federal appeals court. Well, after the General Assembly gets Danahy's nomination, it will go to a public hearing and then a full vote in the legislature. Governor Lamont's office tells us he also plans to call another special session later this month to consider legislation to change the date for Connecticut's presidential primary. Right now, that date is set for the last week of April, but there's a push to move it to the first week of April when it might have more prominence and impact on the national picture. A previous proposal had support, but lawmakers didn't pass it. Well, it is National Voter Registration Day. Central Connecticut State University will hold a voter registration drive this morning. Secretary of the State Stephanie Thomas will be there. Her office said 20 college campuses across the state will host a voter registration drive ahead of the municipal election in November. So this is all meant to get younger people engaged and to share the importance of voting with them.